Welcome back, friends, to Skippers Today, an updated tier list for baseball teams after the first month of games. Obviously, we watched a bit. A lot has changed. Some surprises for all the teams, I guess, pretty much. Some teams are good, some teams are bad. I'm going into tier list, World Series contenders, playoffs, decent teams, question marks, and then poverty franchises. The poverty franchises will be absolutely filled with shitty teams. So let's get into it. First off here, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 16-14, pretty much a surprise in the NL West. The run differential is minus 11 runs. So for me, I want to have them in this playoffs, close to the playoffs tier, because I've appreciated what the D-backs have been able to do so far. But for me, it's just an easy decent. The former World Series champion Atlanta Braves off to a disappointing start without Ronald Acuna Jr. 14-16. They are expected win-loss record of 15-15, minus 3 run differential. I want to push them into the playoff spot here as well because Ronald Acuna Jr. is back, and largely the World Series hangover is just a thing that happens, and they have underperformed to this point, but can't do that yet. So they're just going to go indecent for me as well. I think it's almost a no-brainer that they should be in playoffs, but do this by next month, and that's going to happen, no doubt in my mind. The Baltimore Orioles, 12-17. Okay, we thought they should be the worst team in the AL East, but that happens to be the Boston Red Sox right now. So I don't think they're a poverty franchise. Actually, they are the epitome of a poverty franchise, but based on what they've done this season, I think they've largely overperformed. So I'm just going to put them in the question mark tier. I think by next month, they are going to be the worst team in the AL East. But for right now, Baltimore, give you your dues. You're in the question mark. Next, the Boston Red Sox. What the fuck is happening in Boston? 10-19, a run differential of minus 23 runs. They're worried about signing Xander Bogaerts. They're going to get rid of JD Martinez if this doesn't go well here. Trevor Story has not hit a baseball all season. The pitching rotation is absolutely terrible for them. Michael Wacha's out, who is their really good pitcher. What are they going to do with Garrett Whitlock at this point, too? He should be their closer. They have lost they have the most blown saves in baseball by far. You can't put them in poverty franchise because they're better than that, but you can't put them in decent because they're just fucking bad. So question mark for the Boston Red Sox. Chicago Cubs, pretty easy for me, poverty franchise this season. Seiya Suzuki was a nice little surprise at the start here. I don't really like anything they've done in their rotation. Don't really like the outlook for the rest of the season for the Chicago Cubs. They just don't have the it factor. They got rid of Rizzo, all those guys. Wilson Contreras is still there, but poverty franchise, Chicago Cubs. Next, the team that really is supposed to run away with their division here in the Central, the Chicago White Sox. Dylan Cease is that dude. He is that good. We see him probably the favorite for the Cy Young besides Kevin Gausman at this point, right? The White Sox 14-14, minus 16 run differential. The expected win-loss is 12-16. Largely, again, underperformed, but I think because the division is kind of weak, but they're 4 games back of the leaders and the Twins, I'm just going to go they're a decent team. Liam Hendricks isn't going to pitch this bad all season, I don't think. So they should hopefully figure it out. And then really a poverty franchise right here, the Cincinnati Reds, 6-23. Expected win-loss a little better, but a run differential of minus 74 runs. Joey Votto started making TikToks and the Reds started being shitty, so I don't feel bad at all for that. Joey Votto's the worst Reds poverty franchise. Next, the Cleveland Guardians did a number on the Blue Jays this weekend, which I hated to see personally. Josh Naylor did a number on the White Sox last night. I don't really know. I think they largely overperformed. Jose Ramirez is obviously sick. That Jose Ramirez win Player of the Month, Steve McQuon win Rookie of the Month, and you just have Miles Strauss stealing 1,000 bases. Pitching rotation is okay. The bullpen is okay. I have them as a decent team right now. I think based on their numbers hitting, they're actually a really good team, but I don't know if that's going to hold up over the season. Franmil Reyes also hasn't done anything, so I might talk myself into putting the Guardians in a playoff team at some point here, but for right now, just in the decent tier. Next, we have the Colorado Rockies at 16-13, minus 16 run differential. Now, this is a really big surprise to me. For a team that I thought was going to fight for the bottom with the D-backs. It was nice to see them play. Again, you're playing in Colorado. Their home record is 11-5, and their road record is 5-8, I think that says there. So, again, it's the Coors Field effect. But I'm going to put them as a decent team right now. They're not going to be able to pitch so well at Coors Field all season, but if they can keep hitting at this rate, they're going to be a solid team for the rest of the season. The Detroit Tigers are really, really bad, and I don't know how. 8-20. So I want to put them poverty franchise right now, but Spencer Torkelson really hasn't done much. Javi Baez has been okay. A pitching rotation that I thought I was going to play up and just be really good this season hasn't really done that. So for me, I'm just going to be a question mark because the Tigers were good last season, and I thought they were largely underrated coming into this year. But for me, AJ Hinch is just like, what the fuck is going on? No one knows what's going on with the Detroit Tigers. Close to poverty franchise, but for now, just a question mark. The Houston Astros. You can try and kill the Houston Astros, but you're just not going to do it. You'll get rid of Carlos Correa, but they'll just have a random guy like Jeremy Pena come in and be an absolute stud. Jordan Alvarez is really good. Kyle Tucker hasn't even started like playing well at all, pretty much. For me, it's just another World Series contender. They've shown year after year they do this. They're a good, solid baseball team. I have no worries with the Houston Astros if they get to the playoffs because they can win playoff games. They showed it year after year. Houston Astros, World Series contender. Next, we have the Angels. A nice little surprise. 20-11. It's nice to see Shohei and Mike Trout on an actual winning team. Again, I think the rotation isn't that good. It has just played up so far in the first month. We should see some regression. But a plus 35 run differential. Their expected win-loss is only 1 win less. Home, really good, 11-6. Road, 9-5. We've always kind of said if Anthony Rendon figures it out, Taylor Ward, is also figuring it out. Just they're playing I don't even know if it's above their heads at this point. I just think they were a good baseball team who had underperformed for years, but they're finally figuring it out. So Patrick Sandoval and the fellas, I'll put you in World Series contender. Why not? The Alls, 9-17 Kansas City Royals with a run differential of -44. Whit Merrifield has a weighted runs created plus of 0, I'm pretty sure. Sal Perez hasn't been great. The young guys are starting to figure it out. MJ Melendez is finally called out. Nick Prado, let's see if he gets some time here soon. But again, Brad Keller kind of figured it out on the mound. I don't know what to say about them. I wanted to put them in the question marks, but I just feel, actually, I will put them in the question marks. The Kansas City Royals are better than this. Right? We took their win total last year, thought they were half decent. They are a better team than this. So question marks for me. Next, no-brainer, the LA Dodgers, 19-8. They have a 21-6 expected win-loss. That's better than their actual record. I think this is a no-brainer. Somehow flying under the radar, being second-best team in baseball here, plus 70 run differential, 10-2 at home. The Los Angeles Dodgers, World Series contender, no doubt. Next, the Miami Marlins. The record here is 13-16. Their expected win-loss is 15-14. I'm not sold on them being really good for the rest of the season. I think they're a decent team, though. The pitching's going to be okay. If they call up Max Meyer in the next little bit, they should be a lot better. But it's just, they're a decent team, not really question marks. I think they are who they are, and it's a solid ball club. The Milwaukee Brewers are a World Series contender, and you can't tell me otherwise. They're 19-11, expected win-loss of 18-12. The bats have started to figure it out. Willy Adames is just as good as we thought he was. Rowdy Tellez has figured it out and is a very big contributor for this team. Christian Yelich, again, is starting to just turn the wheels a little bit and figure it out. We know the rotation was one of the best in baseball. Freddie Peralta hasn't even pitched well this season, and I guess Brandon Woodruff really hasn't either as well. But I think the offense might carry the team for when last year it was just the pitching staff who carried the team. So Milwaukee Brewers at 19-11 are a World Series contender. We have 2 back-to-back no-brainers I'm going to put up here in the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. Kind of surprised by the Mets. They haven't done the Mets thing where they've just sucked for an extended period of time. They're 20-10, expected win-loss is 19-11, plus 36 run differential. Very impressive what the Mets have done offensively this season. They're a fun team to watch. No reason they're not a World Series contender. And then, unfortunately, the New York Yankees, 20-8, expected win-loss of 20-8, plus 49 run differential, 8-2 in the last 10. I thought the pitching staff would hurt them more than it has so far, but really hasn't. They've figured out a way without Joey Gallo really hitting. Giancarlo Stanton kind of hit and miss as well. I hate to say it, they're a World Series contender. The Oakland A's are a poverty franchise, 11-18. I don't even want to talk about the A's. I don't watch much A's baseball, but poverty franchise. The Phillies, 13-16. What is going on for a team that should have one of the best offenses in baseball? Their expected win-loss is 15-14. Their plus 9 run differential. I'm question marks. I know they're a decent team. I think they should be pushing the playoff tier. They are better than decent, but they are just not playing that way. So I'm going to toss up question marks. This is tiered. This isn't a power rankings, but because I know the Phillies are better than a bunch of these teams here in the decent tier, but I'm interested to see what they do in this next month. Pittsburgh's Pirates, poverty franchise, 12-16, are playing better than we thought, though. 4 games under 500. Just not sustainable for me. San Diego Padres are 19-11, 16-14 expected win-loss, only +9 differential. So they are just a solid playoff team for me at this point in the season. No Fernando Tatis Jr. yet. He'll be back. Figure it out. But the Padres pitching staff has pitched pretty well. Joe Musgrove is as good as we thought he was. I told you to draft him for sure. Put him in the playoffs. No problems there. Seattle Mariners, 13-17, is a decent ball club for me, but I'm going to put them in the question mark tier because they should be pushing this playoffs, right? Last year, a game or two out, they're in it till the end. I thought they upgraded their team. The pitching staff, Robbie Ray, hasn't done what he's needed to do to make this team a lot better. I'm sure they're not loving the money that they've paid him, but so far, question mark. They should be in the playoffs tier based on the roster composition, but no, for right now, question mark. I don't know what's going on with the Seattle Mariners. San Francisco Giants are the epitome of a playoff team. Again, 3 NL West teams right here with the D-backs and the Rockies being in the decent tier. I'm pretty sure all these teams are over 500, right? San Francisco 17-12 expected win-loss +27 run differential. They got Carlos Rodon, and he has just shoved for them. They are a good, solid baseball team who should be worried about if they make it into the playoffs again, but they're in that tier, no doubt. Team I've pretty much watched none of this season are the St. Louis Cardinals. Besides the game they blew to the Mets in the 9th inning, Giovanni Gallegos. So they're 16-12, 17-11 expected win-loss. They're going to fight kind of for that playoff spot as well. I think they're a playoff caliber team, and that's why they're in the playoff caliber tier. Tampa Bay Rays, it pains me to say it, they're a playoff team again this season at this point. 18-12, pretty quiet 18-12 in my opinion. 16-14 +7. Wander Franco's been really, really good. Besides, the pitching staff is doing the thing where they're just under the radar, really good guys coming out of the pen. Shane McClanahan is a really good starter for them as well. But other than that, like Corey Kluber's been okay, I guess. So I think they're kind of playing over their heads at this point a little bit. The Blue Jays should pass them and go for second in this division. But for now, another solid playoff team. This makes me really happy to say that Texas Rangers, poverty franchise, 11-16. Thanks for paying Marcus Semien all that money. And John Gray just continues to get hurt. Glenn Otto's cool. That's about it I got on the Rangers. Minnesota Twins are a playoff team. I don't know how. I thought the way they built their roster was odd because they just paid a shit ton of old guys to pitch for them. But that's just, they've been able to score runs at this point, right? Run differential +25. Byron Buxton could be the best player in baseball when he's healthy. I hope to see my buddy Jordan Balazovic get called up here soon, so I'm rehabbing in AAA. I'm surprised by the Twins, but at this point, they're a playoff team because no one else in the division is that good. My Toronto Blue Jays are a playoff team at this point, largely underperforming. They can't really pitch at some point besides Kevin Gausman and Alek Manoah. Everyone else just hasn't figured it out. Team that's generally been unhealthy to start. Teoscar Hernandez out for 20 days. Danny Jansen out since the second series. I think the Blue Jays will be fine here and push towards the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are this good, and I don't think the Blue Jays are this bad at this point, so they'll fight here. And then finally, to end it off, poverty franchise, the Washington Nationals, why you traded Trey Turner and why you got rid of Max Scherzer, I will never understand. That's all I got for you, the updated tier list. Nice little uniformity here with all these teams lining up. That's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this tier list, what do you think of your team, and see if we can change it, make it better. I will see you guys next time.